Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and felt uncomfortable? Maybe you noticed things you didn't like, your face, your body, or maybe the way your life turned out. You smiled, but deep down, you didn't really feel love for the person staring back. That was Maya. Every morning, she woke up and went through the same routine. Scroll through her phone, compare her life with others, and tell herself, I'm not enough. Not pretty enough. Not smart enough. Not successful enough. And like many of us, she thought self-love meant pampering herself, buying new clothes, taking pretty photos, posting quotes about confidence. But when the makeup faded and the likes stopped coming, the emptiness returned. One day, she met an old friend, Daniel. He looked happy, not because his life was perfect, but because he seemed at peace. Maya asked, "How do you do it? How do you stay so calm and confident?" Daniel smiled and said, "Because I stopped trying to love a version of myself that doesn't exist." That sentence hit her like a wave. He continued, "Real self-love isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about accepting your flaws without letting them define you. It's forgiving yourself when you mess up and choosing to try again. It's setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and not apologizing for taking care of your peace." That night, Maya stood in front of the mirror again, but this time she didn't try to fix her reflection. She just looked at herself, really looked, and whispered, "I'm learning to love you. Not for what you've done, but for who you are becoming." It wasn't easy. Some days she fell back into old habits, but slowly she began to see love differently. She stopped comparing her journey with others. She took care of her body because she deserved health, not because she wanted to fit in. She surrounded herself with people who respected her boundaries. And she forgave herself, not once, but again and again. That's the real secret to self-love. It's not loud. It's quiet. It's in the choices you make every day. To rest when you're tired, to speak kindly to yourself, to walk away from what hurts you, and to believe that you are worthy even when life gets messy. There was once a girl named Deanie. She used to be full of life, always smiling, always helping everyone. But one day, she looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back. Her smile looked tired, her eyes a little empty. And in that quiet moment, she realized she had forgotten how to love herself. So she began a journey, not to find love from others, but to find it within. At first, Deanie tried to change everything about herself, her looks, her habits, even the way she spoke. But no matter how hard she tried, the emptiness stayed. Until one evening, sitting under the stars, she whispered softly, "I'm tired of fighting who I am." That was her first step, acceptance. Loving yourself begins when you stop trying to be someone else. Deanie carried the weight of her past mistakes. Words she shouldn't have said. Moments she wished she could change. She thought being hard on herself would make her better, but it only made her feel smaller. So one morning, she stood in front of the mirror and said, "I forgive you." It wasn't easy, but it was freeing. Because forgiveness is how we release the pain that keeps us from growing. Deanie used to say yes to everyone, even when her heart whispered no. She thought love meant always being available, but she learned that real love begins with boundaries. She started saying, "I can't do that right now, and I need time for myself." And surprisingly, the right people stayed. The wrong ones quietly faded away. It wasn't about luxury or fancy routines. It was about the small, quiet things. Eating well, going for walks, writing her thoughts, resting when she needed to. Deanie realized that taking care of her body and mind wasn't selfish. It was necessary. Because self-care is how love looks in action. Finally, she learned to be grateful. Not only for the good days, but for the difficult ones, too. Every scar, every tear, every mistake had shaped her into who she was. And when she looked in the mirror again, she smiled. Not because she was perfect, but because she was finally at peace. Deanie's journey isn't unique. It's ours too. Loving yourself doesn't happen overnight. It's a series of small, gentle steps. Acceptance, forgiveness, boundaries, self-care, gratitude. And one day you'll realize you were never broken. You were just learning how to love yourself the right way. So tonight, when you see your reflection, don't look for perfection. Look for progress. Look for the strength it took to keep going. Because that, right there, is what loving yourself in the right way truly means.